Ah, Mario, Mario, Mario. What is there to say about him? He's the king of video games. He's been in more games than anyone can count. More than any other video game character. And there's so many series of Mario games. There's the main Mario line of games, the Mario Kart games, the Mario Party games, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Paper Mario.
So for the sake of brevity, I will only be looking at the mainline Mario games with this marathon, by which I mean Super Mario Bros. 1 through 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and 3D World. I know I'm missing the mainline portable games such as Land 1 and 2 and 3D Land, but I'll get to those on a different marathon. And when I can actually record portable games.
The year was 1981. Nintendo was a struggling video game company. Their video game Radar Scope was selling very poorly. Then President of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi, assigned a young designer named Shigeru Miyamoto to convert unsold Radar Scope units into a game that would sell well. Under the supervision of the late Gunpei Yoko, Miyamoto went to work. His first thought was to make a game based on Popeye, but was denied the rights, so he decided to make his own characters. He created 3 characters: Jumpman, the game's hero, Lady, the love interest, and Donkey Kong, the bad guy. When the game came to the US, an employee at Nintendo of America noticed Jumpman's resemblance to their landlord, Mario Segale, so thus Jumpman was renamed Mario. Donkey Kong was so popular that a sequel was produced called Donkey Kong Jr., which depicted Mario as the bad guy. Mario and Donkey Kong would essentially go their separate ways from this moment on. Mario would go on to star in the arcade game Mario Bros., where his profession was changed from a carpenter to a plumber. It was also here that Mario would gain a brother who was named Luigi. Now, there are different stories as to how Luigi got his name. Some say Nintendo of America took the name from a popular pizzeria named Mario and Luigi's, but it's also similar to the name Ruigi in Japan, which means similar, highlighting Luigi's similarities to Mario. Then, in 1983, the video game crash occurred, and things are looking grim. It wouldn't be until 1985 that a little console called the Nintendo Entertainment System would save the day. And that game was Super Mario Bros., developed at the same time as The Legend of Zelda, but that's a marathon for another time. Shigeru Miyamoto and Takeshi Tezuka directed the game, with Koji Kanto providing the musical score. Hiroshi Yamauchi served as executive producer. There's no question Super Mario Bros. Was a massive success. Worldwide, it sold over 40 million copies thanks to being bundled with the NES. It even sits in the Guinness World Records as the second best-selling video game of all time. Its impact has never been doubted. It is video games. It defined the platforming genre, nay, defined video games, period. Though it has been surpassed by quality by many of its sequels and other games, it is still frequently ranked as the best game of all time due to its sheer influence. The story of the Super Mario Bros. Is very simple. The Mushroom Kingdom is under attack. The Koopa clan has abducted its fair ruler, Princess Toadstool, and taken her to their leader, King Bowser Koopa, and turned the people of the Mushroom Kingdom into blocks. Yeah, those blocks you hit and give you power-ups, those are supposedly toads. Not kidding. Now it is up to Mario and Luigi to rescue Princess Toadstool and restore order to the Mushroom Kingdom. Now here's a bit of interesting trivia. Originally, Mario and Luigi had a backstory of hailing from Brooklyn, New York, but they ended up being sucked down a pipe that took them to the Mushroom Kingdom. This backstory made its way into the cartoons and the live-action movie. This has largely since been forgotten as later games depict Mario and Luigi as always hailing from the Mushroom Kingdom. Controlling Mario is simple. You use the D-pad to move and the A button to jump. The B button serves as a means to speed Mario up. While taking time to calculate your jumps as needed, you can run and jump to make some further distance jumps. Enemies are scattered throughout. You got Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Lakitus, Buzzy Beetles, Bloopers, Paratroopa, and Piranha Plants, all of which have become Mario mainstays. Mario must use power-ups to become stronger. There's the mushroom, which makes Mario grow and allows him an extra hit. Yeah, this game's not too forgiving. You get hit once when you're small Mario, you're dead. So the mushroom affords you an extra hit. There's also the fire flow, which gives Mario the ability to shoot fire out of his hands. Although, even if you get this, you'll still revert to small Mario if you get hit. Finally, there's the Starman, which grants Mario temporary invincibility. Throughout the level, you can occasionally find blocks that will grant you 1-ups, though collecting 100 coins will also achieve this. You can also find vines which will take you to hidden areas that mostly involve getting more coins. Super Mario Bros. Sports a 2-player mode where the second player will control Luigi. However, the way the 2-player mode works is that whenever a player dies, the following player will take over. The level design is simple and straightforward. There are 8 worlds with 4 levels: an overworld, underground, athletic, and castle. Occasionally there will be an underwater setting thrown in there. Overworld is pretty standard running and occasional jumping, while Athletic requires much more timed jumps. Each level is also varied in design and enemy placement, so no level feels repetitive. You can also skip ahead using warp zones, so it's useful for quickly getting back to where you left off if you get a game over, since if you do get a game over, you head back to the start of the game. If you really know what you're doing, you can end the game in 5 minutes. The more you travel through the game, the more difficult it gets, where you'll find more difficult enemies, particularly the Hammer Brothers. These guys are gonna give you trouble. Mario's typical way of combating enemies is to jump on them, but on certain enemies like the Spiny, it's impossible. But a good old-fashioned Fire Flower will make anything killable. Almost anything. There's also occasionally trampolines throughout the level that you will need to time some jumps, although sometimes... yeah. At the end of each castle, you fight Bowser. He's pretty simple, all you have to do is run under or jump over him to get the axe on the bridge, though if you use Fire Flowers to beat him, you'll find out that Bowser was actually an imposter. And you'll reach Toad, who always says this phrase. Of course! Naturally! Until you get to the very end where you'll fight the real and true Bowser and you'll finally rescue Princess Toadstool. Ah, happy endings.
So now for my personal history with the game. I was 3 years old at the time. I was always watching my older brother and sister play it, and I wanted to play too. So my mother handed me controller 2, and my twin brother controller 1. He was always Mario, and I was always Luigi. That's how we always did it. Ironic considering I was the older of the two. So this game is a pretty big part of my childhood. But I got more stories to share. Join me next time for Super Mario Bros. 2.